Scientist Anthony Samsel on glyphosate, January 3, 2016.
There are no safe levels of glyphosate. There is no dose-response relationship with this chemical, as it randomly wreaks havoc in biology. It is a synthetic amino acid analog of glycine that is somewhat resistant to proteolysis, as very little is metabolized. Some glyphosate reacts to form other synthetic amino acid analogues like glycine, and that which does get metabolized is also destructive. Some of these glycine analogues get incorporated into the tissue, which causes self-destruction or apoptosis of the cell in supporting glycine-based structure. The methylphosphono group triggers apoptosis. This is why it takes such a long time to see the damage. It is happening at the molecular level, in each and every molecule incorporated. As you destroy the tissues of the glands and organs, their function is affected and impeded, leading to cascades of diseases. One example is COPD, which suddenly shows up and goes from bad to worse in the course of a short time. You reach the tipping point. Glyphosate was found to metabolize in the lungs of animals tested with radiolabeled carbon-14 glyphosate. It metabolized to radioactive carbon dioxide. That's how they found it during the studies. Glyphosate and glufosinate are both synthetic amino acid analogues of glycine. Plus, there are several more amino acid analogues of glyphosate which are created in vivo or within the body or of the animal or plant. The entire U.S. food supply is contaminated, probably better than 90%, with glyphosate. Even fresh vegetables grown on fields sprayed with glyphosate as a pre-emergent herbicide before planting. All of those fruits and vegetables are contaminated with residues of glyphosate. Wheat, cereal, grains are also contaminated. There are over 160 food groups and counting. Also milk, cheese, cream, beef, pork, poultry, and eggs are also contaminated. Any animals are being fed glyphosate-contaminated forage, pass it through the food chain. In the USA, if it's not organic, you are almost assured of getting your dose of glyphosate at every meal. Then there are those in the supply chain, which include farmers and brokers who are dishonest and sell tainted crops into the organic system. That's a problem, and it needs to be corrected. Those guys need to be prosecuted for selling these contaminated products into what should be a clean system. So these are some of the things that are caused by glycine being disrupted by glyphosate acting as a synthetic amino acid analog of the amino acid glycine. The destruction of glycine affects every gland, organ, and tissue, and it predisposes life to mitochondrial dysfunction and disease. Combine this with the disruption of our commensal friends, the bacteria, that participate in symbiosis on and within, and these glycine amino acid analogues truly are capable of randomly wreaking havoc in our biology. The Monsanto and DuPont carbon-14 radiolabel studies are a key and show beyond a shadow of a doubt that these glycine analogues incorporate into every gland, organ, and tissue at the molecular level. Monsanto pathologists remarked at the tissue destruction of the basement membranes of glands and organs, which are rich in glycine. No wonder they found the glands and organs so effective. And if you refer to our last paper, Glyphosate 4, you can see the distribution and bioaccumulation of radiolabeled carbon-14 in the blood cells, bone, the bone marrow, thyroid glands, the testes and ovaries, the brain, the eye, the heart, kidney, liver, lungs, spleen, the uterus, the stomach, the small intestine, and colon. the abdominal fat, testicular and ovarian fat, abdominal muscle, shoulder muscle, nasal mucosa, residual carcass. They even found that glyphosate caused cataracts. So this is all a function of glyphosate being an amino acid and being where it shouldn't be. And that's why we need to get rid of this herbicide. These glycine analogues, which there are several. It'll all be described in the new paper that Stephanie and I are in the process of writing.